There's ways of killing yourself without killing yourself.
And welcome back to the Retro Review. I am the Bearded Geek, joined by Mikey the Freak.
What's up?
And Steve, who's just walking along.
You can tell by the way I use my rock. I'm a woman's man. No time to talk. Music I was born to dig around. I was born. Okay, I don't know the song.
You saw the intro, you saw the thumbnail. We are reviewing Saturday Night Fever. But before we get into it, let's check out that trailer.
Do we have to? I mean, yes, let's.
Yes, we have to.
Oh, Sandy D. Oh, I'm a disco star.
Yeah, some of the angles for that was weird.
Bro, I didn't want to see his fucking nacho.
Two, twice. This race today and dance at the disco. Well, I mean, I could dance with you, but you're not my dream girl or nothing like that.
Are you as good in bed as you are on that dance floor?
Now, was that Fran Drescher?
Yes. Yes. That was Connie.
I thought it was.
He's very good, yeah. He's the best.
Yeah,
Hey,
father.
man,
Hey,
great.
father.
He's
Hey,
the
father.
king
Hey,
out
father.
there.
Hey, father.
Leave me alone.
In Saturday
Why?
Night Fever. She can dance, you know that? She's got the wrong partner, of course, but she can dance.
Okay, listen. I like it. We could dance together. That's it.
She was a bit of a bitch throughout this whole movie, by the way.
Yep. This movie ends so weird.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
It sets up for Staying Alive, which they probably didn't have to make. It was a very bad sequel.
I mean, they're playing the whole movie for the trailer.
Dancing, it can't last forever. It's a short-lived kind of thing. But I'm
Trailer?
getting older, you know, and
Yeah. Oh, it's like a 3-minute long trailer. Yeah.
No, I see. They play most of the movie, probably.
My life, you know, is that it?
He just wants to be a dancer, so he has to go to Broadway and
I guess. Hey, it's John Travolta.
Coming from Paramount Pictures.
coming.
Yeah. And
Coming.
now a thing of tasting. All right.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Mikey the Freak, why don't you tell us a
Oh,
little bit
dude.
more about this freaking movie?
All right. So, an anxious about the future of after high school, a 19-year-old Italian American from Brooklyn tries to escape the harsh reality of his of his bleak family life by dominating the dance floor it doesn't go through basically at the local nightclub.
There
Alright.
is no fucking way that John Travolta is supposed to be 90
I know.
years old.
Mid 20s
Oh, hey, I
easily.
look like I'm like 23, 24, you know, like,
Yeah.
oh, hey,
Yeah.
Sandy, oh.
Yeah.
But what do you think about it on rewatch though, Mikey the Freak?
So I have watched this movie a lot. It is one of my favorite movies, but I've always enjoyed this movie, and I think it has to do with the soundtrack.
Mhm.
I got into disco a lot, like the late '90s, early 2000s, like nightclubs and stuff down at 8 Tracks in downtown Disney when Pleasure Island was there. And this was this was a movie that had probably one of the best soundtracks relating to disco. So it was entertaining in that aspect of it. But to kind of watch the movie again now, because it has been a while since I've seen it all the way through, I always remember like the meat and potatoes of the movie, like the actual dance competition, and when he gets there at the beginning of the movie and he's dancing, and then the fight with his parents, and just small bits and pieces of the movie. But to remember all the small things like the rape scene. I forgot about the rape scene. I forgot about the kid at the end killing himself, or not killing himself, but basically killing himself because
Yeah.
his girlfriend was pregnant and she wanted to keep the baby, and he was too young. He didn't want the baby anymore. So this movie hits a lot of different points of real life, of I guess the struggles of what you go through as a teenager, late teen, or even early 20s. But they hit a lot of aspects on it. And I think this is one reason why this movie was accepted back in the 70s. And probably because it was the soundtrack. They were going through disco at the time. So they promoted that a lot. So watching it through, it was difficult, but I could have not watched the movie because I've seen it so many times. But yeah, it is interesting to kind of get through a lot of the stuff. Steve, what about yourself? What do you
I
think
mean,
on rewatch?
I've never seen this movie before, and as a 41-year-old male, I made it about 25 minutes into the movie, and I did not see the plot of where it was going. I'm sure the plot reveals itself at about Mark 30:45, maybe.
I
Uh,
really don't think there was a plot other than
No.
the struggles of what kids go through.
and
Um,
and here's the
yeah,
thing is if they had made it apparent from the beginning of the movie that he was supposed to be a 19-year-old,
yeah.
I might have been more like, once again, as a 41-year-old. But to me, he seemed like a 23, 24-year-old kid in the 70s who's trying to hustle, still living at home. I laughed at the scene with everybody hitting each other. He's like, "My hair, you always hit my hair. I spend so much time on my hair." Like,
Yeah.
That's that
no,
egocentric,
and
vain, very vain.
but then he gets with his friends, and they automatically start with the fucking racial slurs, and then
Yeah.
the way that they talk to the first two fucking women they really encounter, the mom from Out of This World, and what I the petty dance, or whatever, that blonde chick, and they're both good looking
Oh yeah.
girls. They're both attractive, but they're like, "Oh, like, you're not fucking attractive. Like, oh, I don't want to dance with you." And I couldn't. Like, another girl was coming up, and they said something semi derogatory, and I was like, I'm not gonna, like, this is gonna be the whole script. Like, at no point is he gonna be like, "Oh, I'm a gentleman and I'm gonna start talking with ladies with respect," and no, at no point
Mm-mm.
was that gonna happen. And so,
Yeah.
But
So you were over at 25 minutes into it. Yeah.
yeah.
Me personally, when it comes to the derogatory and stuff, this is a movie that probably could not be made today, for sure. One of those movies, but yeah, I think it had a good soundtrack. I thought I don't know if it accurately depicted of what was going on back then, because I was not a teenager in the 70s. Believe it or not, I'm old, but not that old. Um, yeah,
you weren't even born yet.
I was born in the 70s. I was born in the 70s, but like late 70s.
Lately.
Um, yeah, 77. But
I'd call that mid 70s.
yeah, it was, I enjoyed the soundtrack. It had no strong plot. I don't know if the plot was basically building up to the dance off at the end, or if it was trying to make a love story, which was weird and awkward, and it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the soundtrack. I enjoyed the dancing. I enjoyed all that. But other than that, meh.
I think you guys talk about the plot, and I think there's so much stuff going on. There was so many little stories going on between his brothers leaving the church as a father,
But it was too
his
much.
friend
You
Bobby,
couldn't grab onto anything. You
yeah,
couldn't grab
Bobby.
onto anything.
Bobby was going through got his girlfriend pregnant, and she wanted to keep the baby, but he wanted an abortion, and then uh, John Travolta Tony wanted to be something more than just a dancer here. He wanted to make it big. He wanted to get out of here because all of his friends were holding him down, and then his other friend Double J got beat up. And they thought it was this one rival gang, and then they go and they beat up that whole gang and find out, well, I don't think it was them. I'm like, what do you mean you
Yeah.
don't think it was them? So there was a lot of different stories, and that's why I think the movie was kind of hard to follow, because you want to follow John Travolta's character, but all this little shit comes in, and you're like, well, what's going on with him? What's going on with
It was.
her? They idolized Tony. All the women
Yeah.
idolized him because of who he was and how big he was, and
How he commanded the dance floor and all that, but it just didn't.
yeah.
They were trying to add too many subplots, and it just didn't work. It didn't work. Mikey the Freak, what would you actually rate this movie?
Oh well, I mean, it's like I said, it's kind of tough. Let's just, for the soundtrack portion of it, um, not much for the story. Some of the cast, that's a 7, solid 7. I think is fair. It is a good movie in my retrospect, even back then when I enjoyed the movie. But yeah, I just think it's very tough watch now, and so much stuff going on. And like I said, I didn't remember seeing a lot of that stuff back then, because I think I focused a lot on the music and
Yeah.
just one storyline. Just the one. But yeah, I think it's a 7, solid 7 for John Travolta. Yeah.
All right, Steve, how about you, sir? What would you rate this movie? A 3. A 3. A good
30
old
minutes
solid 3.
into it, 3 stars.
Me personally, I'm gonna give it a 6.5, 6.5, and I'm gonna give it the 0.5 for the boob bump again. Yeah, there was some boobs in there, so I gotta give it a little extra. But other than
Like the
that,
boobs.
6.5. I do have some fun facts for this movie.
Are
Or
they fun?
they're facts.
That's
We'll
good.
just say facts.
Let's
Some
just say
facts about this
let's just
movie.
say
Yeah,
facts.
yeah.
I don't know how fun they
Yeah.
are. Interesting facts.
John Travolta ran 2 miles a day and danced for 3 hours daily to get in shape for this film. In the end, he dropped 20 pounds.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean,
If
when
I
you're
if I dance 3 hours a day and run that much, I better lose more than 20 pounds.
well, you
If
got
I
to
did
figure he
that,
was
I'd
probably
have a heart attack.
he was probably fairly in shape at that time anyway.
He probably was. Yeah.
Yeah. The white polyester suit worn by John Travolta sold at auction for $145,000 and was purchased by a movie critic, Gene Siskel.
Siskel owns it.
I love how you
Yep.
say critic Gene Siskel like you have no idea. That sounded
I-
like you have no idea who Gene Siskel is.
I know who Gene Siskel is.
I wonder
but
who owns it now since he died.
Well, it's not Ebert. That's who.
Oh.
Wow, he
It's
wasn't
not
in the beginning.
Siskel or Ebert.
When John Travolta met John Badham, he was surprised that the director knew so little about New York. He took it upon himself to show Badham Manhattan and Brooklyn.
Oh, hey, this is Brooklyn. Like, I grew up here. Oh my God, look over this. And I lost my virginity in that parking lot. Oh.
That's a good Christopher Walken.
Love Christopher Walken. He ain't in this movie though.
Steve, what do we have for soundtrack for this movie, sir?
It's great. Night on Disco Mountain. Disco Duck.
All right, Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. How Deep Is Your Love by the Bee Gees. Night Fever by the Bee Gees. More Than a Woman by the Bee Gees.
Yep.
If I Can't Have You. A Fifth of Beethoven. More Than a Woman. Manhattan Skyline. Calypso Breakdown. Night on Disco Mountain. Open Sesame. Jive Talking by the Bee Gees. You Should Be Dancing by the Bee Gees. Boogie Shoes. Salsitation. KG or KJ, I know it's G, I don't know, and Disco Inferno. Burn, baby, burn.
Disco
So burn,
Inferno.
oh, burn, baby, burn, burn mother down.
All right, Mikey the Freak, what do we have for some related reels, sir?
Oh, let's see. Let's see. What do I have? John Travolta. Everybody knows all the movies John Travolta's been in. I'm not going through any. No, I'm kidding. We'll go with Grease. We'll go with A Punisher, Face Off, Staying Alive, shitty sequel. A bunch of other ones. Michael,
Hairspray.
Phenomenon.
Broken
Yeah,
Arrow.
you name it. You name it. He's in all of them. Uh,
Look
Pulp
who's
Fiction.
talking.
Pulp Fiction. Look who's talking. Look who's talking too. Look who's talking now.
Pulp
All of
Fiction.
them. Pulp Fiction. I have that on here too. This is all just him. That's just him. No, I'm kidding. And
MasterCard
then
commercial.
with her, with the same one, with the okay. So Barry Miller, which plays Bobby. So the movie I remember him from was Peggy Sue Got Married, which had Nicolas Cage and Jim Carrey in it. He was in Fame, and he did a movie called Flawless, which was with Robert De Niro, and he was in a bunch of one episode shows, like Barney Miller, all the old type 70s and 80s type shows. He was in almost every single one for one
Barney
episode.
Miller ran for more than one episode. I don't know if you know
No,
that.
he was in one episode of other shows. One episode, just one. And then Double J, which is
Jeff Jarrett?
Yes,
Jeff
Double J.
Jeff
It's
Jarrett.
that J.
So
A
Paul,
double R
hey,
E double
I'll wait
T.
till you're done.
Woo,
I'm fucking
Jeff
over it.
Jarrett, baby.
Yeah, that's all I've got. Next, hold on. Fuck y'all. I'm done with it. I'm
You
not even
said
going
so.
into
You
it.
brought him Double J.
I know. I wasn't done yet, jackass.
All right, Steve, where can people
Fuck
find you on
him,
your
whatever.
podcast, sir? Whoops.
I'll close my shit. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Where can people find you on your podcast, sir?
The last podcast you want. Thank you very much.
All right.
That's very
If you like what you see here, make sure you do all the YouTuber things. Give us a good old thumbing. Hit
Fuck
that like and
him.
subscribe.
Yeah.
Hit that like and subscribe. Make sure you check out the Mod Squad Network. That's the sister channel to Back to the Retro Review, where we have a bunch of shows over there, and we go live every Saturday night with a giveaway. All right. That does it for this episode of Back to the Retro Review. So for Mike the Freak and Steve, I am the Bearded Geek saying, if I don't see you again, thank you for being a friend.
See ya. Stay alive.